Hello, my name is Madeline and welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited to talk about all of the books that I want to read this fall. I feel like I just made this video for summer and I really have been enjoying trying to think about my reading seasonally over the course of a couple of months and wanting to incorporate some elements of the season and kind of what is happening outside in the world into my reading life. I really found that it was helpful having this seasonal TBR for me this summer and having some books that I knew I was really excited to get to kind of keep my reading momentum going and to have some things to grab when I wasn't sure what I wanted to read next. So I'm excited to do this again for fall. And this time I decided to do something a little bit different. I was inspired by Tiffany from her channel Beautiful Minutia. She makes a summer book bingo. And what's really great about her bingo is she has these prompts that are vague enough that you can apply them in a lot of different ways. So some of her prompts are genre specific, but some of them are so broad that you could read really a book from any genre almost. I was inspired by this. I really like having the challenge this summer of wanting to complete the bingo. I didn't get a blackout. I read a lot of books, somehow only ended up with 3 bingos, so I don't know how that happened. But I wasn't really focused on getting a blackout. I was just using the prompts as kind of ideas to keep me going and find things to read. So anyways, I was inspired by that and I wanted to kind of do a fall themed book bingo and try to come up with some different prompts that I thought were applicable to the fall season and to try to kind of guide my reading that way. So I made a cute little bingo board for myself. I will leave a link to it below if you want to participate in it as well. I'm thinking of counting any books that I read from the start of September through the end of November as part of my fall book bingos. So yeah, if you want to participate, that would be great. There aren't really any rules. It's pretty open and yeah. So I will just read quickly through the prompts. They're pretty self-explanatory for the most part. And then I have a big stack of books that I'm excited to talk about and share with you as well. Alright, so first up we have a book that features food, where food or cooking or baking is an important part of the story. We have a cozy mystery, a historical fiction set during World War I. This is because Armistice Day is in November. We have a book featuring magic, a school setting, a book with a fall or autumnal cover, a book by or about a saint. This is for All Saints Day, which is the 1st of November. We have football, or I broadened it to be kind of any sport. Of course, football has the most fall cozy vibes to it, but that's kind of specific. So any sport book would do. A book with some spooky vibes, an author who was born in fall, a cozy fantasy set in a small town, a backlist, a fairy tale or a fairy tale retelling, a book where family is an important part, and a book set during fall. That is my list. Some of these I already have books that I know I want to read to fulfill these prompts. Some of them, like fantasy and cozy mystery, I don't really plan on choosing a specific book for because I feel like I'm probably going to read a book in those genres anyway, and so that can kind of fill in on its own. I also like having some that I have no idea what I'm going to read because it gives me kind of something to look for and search for when I'm in a bit of a reading rut and don't know what I want to read next. I can use some of these prompts to help me try to find a book. Right, so those are my book bingo prompts, and now let's get into the books. Like I said, some of these fulfill prompts, some of these maybe don't, but that's okay. I still really want to read them this fall and I am excited about them. Alright, I've already started this one a little bit because I am buddy reading it with a friend, and that is The Wife by Sigrid Undset. This is the second book in the Kristen Lavransdatter trilogy. It's set during the 14th century in Norway. The writing is beautiful and atmospheric. There's a lot of religious elements and a lot about liturgical living, and that part I all really like. The story can be quite heavy at times, so I'm a little apprehensive going into this, but we'll see how it goes. I don't want to say too much else about it because it is a book, the second book in a series, so we'll just leave it at that. And a book I plan on saving for October, for Victober, where you read Victorian literature. That is Silas Marner by George Eliot. I read Middlemarch a couple of years ago. I enjoyed it, but I don't remember very much about the story. I think I just read it too quickly, and it's the kind of book that is so dense that you need to go slowly with it. So I need to reread that at some point. But in the meantime, I thought I would give one of George Eliot's shorter novels a try. So yeah, let's see what the first sentence of this is. In the days when the spinning wheels hummed busily in the farmhouses, and even great ladies, clothed in silk and thread lace, had their toy spinning wheels of polished oak, there might be seen in districts far away among the lanes or deep in the bosom of the hills certain pallid, undersized men, who, by the side of their brawny country folk, looked like the remnants of a disinherited race. That's a very long sentence. I don't remember if that's really the way she writes, if it's typically really long sentences. I hope not, because I tend to get lost when the sentences are long. So we'll have to see about that. A book that I am planning on picking up this month for Shake-tember, where you read Shakespeare's works, that is Richard III. This is a play of his that I own, that I have not yet read. I honestly read any Shakespeare since being in school, so that will be interesting to kind of see how I enjoy that outside of an academic setting. Let's see what the first line is on this. All right, we have Richard, who has the first line. Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this sun of York, and all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Yep, that's Shakespeare. All right, we'll see how this goes. I'm excited. I've heard good things about this play, so that'll be good. A book that will definitely fulfill a bingo prompt, and that is a book by or about a saint. I plan on reading Saint Therese of Lisieux's The Story of a Soul. This is her autobiography that she wrote pretty close to her death. I don't know if she was already sick or not when she started writing this, but it was her mother superior who told her to write this, and at her request she chronicled her life from her early childhood onward. I've read about 50% of this on my Kindle, and I just had a hard time, honestly, reading nonfiction, and especially spiritual books on my Kindle. I need to have the physical copy to make notes and to read. So I'm hoping it'll go better with the physical book this time. The first sentence is, this is all the introduction. Chapter 1. I'm going to entrust the story of my soul to you, my darling mother, to you who are doubly my mother. All right, so yeah, exactly. She's writing this to her mother. Yeah, I'm excited to read this and to see how this goes. I have just been wanting to read Saint Therese of Lisieux for so long. We live close to Lisieux. We go pretty often. This is a book I need to read, I feel. As you can tell, this is in no specific order, because next up I have another Victober pick, and that is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is a really short one again, so I thought might as well try to get it in October. I don't know too much about this. Let's see what the first sentence is. Chapter 1, Story of the Door. Mr. Utterson the lawyer was a man of a rugged countenance that was never lighted by a smile, cold, scanty, and embarrassed in discourse, backward in sentiment, lean, long, dusty, dreary, and yet somehow lovable. That's an interesting first sentence, and I'm excited to see how this goes. All right, the little one woke up from her nap. So she's here with me, hanging out with a couple books. We'll see how this goes, if I'm able to finish all of this or not. Next up is some Jane Austen, Northanger Abbey. I am excited to read this. Count as my spooky read for the book bingo. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is one of the last 2 Jane Austen books that I have left. To read. First sentence. No one who had ever seen Catherine Morland in her infancy would have supposed her born to be an heroine. That's really good. I'm excited. I'm intrigued. I love Jane Austen's writing so much. So very excited about this. Right, last Victober pick, I promise. That is Wurthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I've owned this for probably 10 years now, have not read it. I need to read it. This is going to be the year. Victober is going to be my chance to conquer it. Let's see, chapter 1. 1801, I have just returned from a visit to my landlord, the solitary neighbor that I shall be troubled with. Not an excellent start, but that's okay. Maybe it'll get better. I don't know. I've heard mixed things. Don't know if it's going to be a book I love, but it's a book that I want to read and have checked off my list. All right, a book that I plan on reading for the historical fiction World War I prompt. That is Miss Morgan's Book Brigade. I talked about this in a recent book haul. It is set in Paris. There's a mobile librarian, I think. Is that what it is? Yeah. I am excited. I enjoyed this author's other book, so I'm eager to give this one a try. I haven't read historical fiction in a really long time, so we'll see how this goes. All right, there's a prologue. The first sentence is, you can learn a lot about a life by looking in someone's closet. True. I like that first sentence. Yeah, I'm eager to give this a try. It's been so long since I read historical fiction that I think this will be a lot of fun. Next up we have Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. Daphne du Maurier's books are just perfect for fall. They are cozy and mysterious and dark. The little one got to the camera, so I'm sorry. So I apologize if things have shifted a little bit. Last physical book, so let's hurry. We have the Betsy Tacy Treasury by Maud Hart Lovelace. I've read the first book, want to continue on in the series. I don't know how many of these I'll get to. It's a bind up of 4 of the books. So I don't think I'm going to read the other 3. They're really fun stories set in a small town in Minnesota. We follow these 3 friends and it's just really charming. It's like being transported to another life and makes me nostalgic for a childhood that I didn't have, if that makes any sense. Let's see what the first sentence of book 2 is. Betsy and Tacy and Tib were 3 little girls who were friends. Okay, yeah. Not a super interesting start to book 2, but I love these books and I think it will be a lovely, cozy fall read. I have 2 books I plan on reading on my Kindle. It's a rom-com called Cole and Laila Are Just Friends. This is a childhood friends. The cover is very fallish and autumnal, so I plan on using it for that prompt. It said, I've heard it said that the banter in this story is like Luke and Lorelai and Gilmore Girls, which I love and is super fun. So I'm hoping that's the case because I love a good witty banter in a rom-com. And then last up, I want to read Family Grandstand by Carol Ryrie Brink. I read Family Sabbatical this summer, which is technically the second book in the series. So I plan on going backwards, reading the first book this fall. It's set in a small town and the dad is a history professor. The mom writes mystery novels. The cover has football on it, so I plan on using it for that prompt. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The sibling relationships between the 3 siblings is so sweet, so fun. I love how they interact with each other, how they interact with their parents. It's a fun, sweet story. That is it for the books I plan on reading this fall. Let me know below what you're excited to read this autumn, and let me know if you want to participate in the book bingo and what you might be reading for that. I will see you in the next video. Bye!